All right, and welcome back to The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly with your boy Kyron, the poor people's governor. I was just giving them boy a little blog about my partner, Cocorat. Good night, Cocorat. Yes, my real soul there. I get to realize that in Elite. Right, so we were just talking about the lack of maintenance of the Mayaro recreation ground. And I honestly think that we need to pay more attention to that. Right? I'm not going to dwell on it because I already told you guys how I felt about it. Sporting in Mayaro is important, and we need to remember that and harness the young, talented people of Mayaro. I was talking to my mother the other day, and she told me that she was in the bank. And she said, in the bank, the place quiet. You don't really be, the bank doesn't be noisy unless I'm in the bank, for some strange reason. But that's another topic. So she said, in the line, she sat down there waiting, stand up there waiting, talking, and she heard this loud crash. Things falling down and all kind of thing. So she turned around and she saw this guy, this elderly gentleman. Apparently he fainted and fell on the ground and hit his head and whatever, and he was a little bit unresponsive, so to speak. So the people in the bank, recognizing that my mother's a nurse, they called us, said, Miss James, you could just come and check him out, make sure everything in again. What this be? So she went across there, and while she was talking to him and asking him what's going on, making sure that he was conscious, and then she asked someone to call for the ambulance. Now, let me take this time to explain to the viewers that are not too familiar with the ambulance service in Mayaro or lack thereof. There are ambulances at the Mayaro District Health Facility. To my understanding, to the best of my understanding, those units are only, and you guys can call and correct me if I'm wrong, are only to be used to transport patients from the Mayaro Health Facility to other health facilities. So from Mayaro to San Fernando, Mayaro to Sangre Grande. I think Mayaro to Mount. No, that's Mayaro, San Fernando, Mayaro to Sangre Grande, and probably Mayaro to Rio Claro, I guess. It's not to be used as an emergency service as we had in the bank where the man fainted. You cannot call the ambulance and say, can you please send someone to come pick up this guy, this gentleman at the hospital and whatnot. Because we don't have that service. About probably 2 or 3 years ago, there was a EHS service, a E999 service in the Mayaro area where you could have called and said that there was an emergency and an emergency vehicle with an EMT. That's an emergency medical technician. Again, I'm not too certain of the acronym or the meaning of the acronym. But you could have called these people and they would have sent someone quick, fast, and in a hurry to come pick you up, take you to the medical facility. We do not have that facility in Mayaro. And people, I am begging. I'm begging you guys to open your eyes and raise your voices so that the people who are responsible for making this happen, let it come back to the community. If you do not have your own transportation, if you do not have access to transportation, and you fall ill in the night, in the wee hours of the morning, sometimes you're even home during the day, and you do not have someone to call to assist you, you are going to be in serious trouble. I called, as I mentioned to you guys in previous shows, I called the Minister of our parliamentary representative, Mr. Winston Gypsy Blackboy Peters. And I asked him, I said, sir, can you give me an idea what is the reason why we don't have anymore that emergency service? And he said to me that part of the reason was because people were making calls to the E999 or the EHS or whatever that were not emergencies. So they decided to stop, one of the reasons, they decided to stop the service. That, in my eyes, is one of the poorest excuses I could ever hear from my representative regarding the reason why they don't have this emergency service available to us citizens. This is life or death. The availability of this EHS service can determine who lives and who dies in our community. Don't even get me started on the fire station, because I'm afraid to start on that, because I don't know if I or my child or my children's children will ever get to see that fire station in Mayaro. Promises, everything is, yeah, you're going to get this, yeah, you're going to get that, we're working on this. So turning that fire station How long now? 3 years now. Thanks, Shane. 3 years now. You know that quite right? That the sword was turned. Our Prime Minister came down with the MPs and whatnot, and they turned the sword. They grade down the place. Everything was nice. People in Mayaro started feeling better about it because you know what? We get in the fire station. Pass up there and see what's going on. Not don't watch the how composite recreation ground coming down in the road. That's a different issue. We'll talk about that another time. But the ground, the area that was once earmarked for the fire station has been covered with grass again. Now people will be saying, but Kyron, you don't know what's going on with the fire station. Why you don't wash them out? That is why I have to talk, because we don't know. If you guys come out and say, you know what? Residents of Mayaro, you don't like to say that when it's time to get your vote and thing, yeah? Residents of Mayaro, I want to give all your update as to what's going on with your fire station, because I understand how important this facility, this fire station is to the community, the people of my community. So I come back to tell you what's going on. Nobody says a word. So we have to keep thinking, or we have to keep wondering what's happening. Fire station, E999, or EHS service are the two critical things that we need in this community. Critical, and it's only going to come when someone of influence, not poor people like me and you, when someone of influence comes to this area, falls down sick, God forbid, or their home is burnt. That is the only time they're going to say, you know what, I feel it's time to put that fire station in Mayaro. Sometimes you ask why people just be blocking roads and why people just be taking all these negative form of protest. Sometimes the only way to get the attention of the people that represent you is to be loud and boisterous. I am not advocating burning tires in the streets, but I'm just I'm just saying that I can understand why some people may think that they need to go to this length to be able to get the information or to get the attention that they so desperately need. They would come down here with 10 million camera when they're doing walkabout. You ever hear a tradesman, a real good tradesman, come and tell you, boy, you know why I don't have a business card? I don't have a business card because my work speaks for itself. It should be the same thing with politicians. I don't need a camera following me all over the place for photo ops because my work should speak for itself. We need to be vocal. I lament the fact that people in Mayaro, we in Mayaro, need to be more vocal. We need to be more present. We need to be more active. We need to be more contributive, positively contributing to the community. I can't stress on that enough. That is what we need to do. That is the face that we need to show. A positive, contributive face to the aspects of things that are happening in our community. And unless that happens, we're always going to be in third world status. Right? So I'm hoping that the people that are responsible for making those things happen, whether it be the councillor, whether it be someone that can contact the MP, give us a call. Let us know exactly what is the problem, why it is we're waiting so long, and how long the people of Mayaro will wait for that fire station. Don't get me started on the library, because that's another kettle of fish. I want to take a quick break, and when we come back, it's going to be more of the good, the bad, and the ugly with your boy Kyron, the Poor People's Governor. Hello, and welcome back to the good, the bad, and the ugly with your boy Kyron, the Poor People's Governor, right here on MCTV3, your community station. This part of the program I'd like to dedicate to the members of the community of Ottawa. Some people like to say that Ottawa and some is a forgotten community in Mayaro, and I cringe at the thought of that because nothing can be further of the truth. Anybody that comes from Port of Spain has to go through Ottawa Village first before they get to the Mayaro community, and then they go to Guaya, whatever the case may be. So I hate when I hear people saying them kind of thing, but people can say what they want. They don't really have to mean it. I did a little interview when I went down to Ottawa to speak to members of the village council concerning the condition of their community center. Now, to give you a little idea of what's going on with the community center, the Ottawa community had their community center, and it was being renovated to make it more in line with, I guess, what the community centers in the country now look like, with the access ramps and bigger area, more spacious, whatever. So they started the renovation, and the renovation on that particular center has stopped. It stopped where, and to the extent where the material that were being used to build the community center have been taken back by the contractor. AC units have been taken back. The place is being left to basically wither away and die, for such a want of a better term. So I want to give you guys a little look at what inside that particular center looks like. But before we go to that, I actually had a little talk with some of the residents. Now, the audio is not 100% because I had to do the recording. Well, my lovely wife actually assisted with the recording. So it's not 100%, but you guys could get a main gist exactly for what the conversation was about. Let's take a look at that.
Community center, where we had a lot of activities, especially concerning youth and things going on in the community center. Our village council have a homework center. I believe our homework center is first model homework center. And it started here in Ottawa. And the government at the time came and said they will be coming to do over our center. We had lots, we had computers, we had projectors, we had classrooms and stuff in the whole community center. And we were so excited that they was going to do over the center. So we said, well, yeah, let me go with it. First BHP Billington at the time was going to refurbish the center. They were going to refurbish the center. And the government came, community development came in and said, well, they're going to do the community center. So obviously, we chose the government in front of BHP Billington. BHP also said they were going to relocate our community center because they would have paid for land out of the sea coast area.
Right. But it was still going to remain in Ottawa Village?
It
was by the ground, Savannah.
So they were looking at land to relocate the community center and all. And still, our community center started to be built and it just stopped all of a sudden.
Anybody got any information from our minister or financial representative?
The last thing we got from him, when they had the opening of the Ottawa Heritage Market, fish market, he said that the next project he will start with the Ottawa Community Center. After that, nothing.
I heard that you guys have some vandalism on the side.
We have lots of vandalism.
So you don't have security guard or watchman?
No security guard, no watchman. The contractor who was doing the building came and take everything out and left.
So it was the contractor?
Show us where it comes.
Yeah, sure.
But they were showing this all around the property, you know.
Kita be ada udara yang saya. Kalau
Right, so that was the conversation I had with members of the Ottawa Village Council. Sorry if the audio wasn't 100%. As I mentioned, it's a blatant form of disrespect that you take away a functional, a good, established community center with the promise of actually redoing it, and this is what happened. Now these pictures you're looking at here, this is some of the work that is being done. Well, this spot you're seeing there, that is rust. Oh, yeah, that dead grab. Because the place open, so you have all members, all manners of creatures coming in the place and dying. I don't know, that black spot you're seeing there, I wonder if anybody, you could pause it if, man, Mr. Director, pause it if, man. I'm giving you guys $100 that nobody can guess what that black spot is or what the black spot was. This black spot was actually a dead dog. This is the spot where the dog died, rotten again, and rotten again. The entire center reeks of this particular dead dog. I mean, nobody's utilizing the place. The construction just stopped. People going inside there and doing God knows what, and the community of Ottawa are not feeling the brunt of it. Those black spots you see in there, that's black, that's bat droppings. it's also a health hazard because you have like 1 million bats up in the ceiling. The shoddy workmanship of the cabinets. These are wooden cabinets underneath the sink there. I mean, come on, man. The people need better than this. Ottawa Village was one of the first villages I knew of in the area here that had an established homework center. A homework center where the children of the community could go. The children of the community could, if they wanted a little help with the homework. Because let's face it, some of the children in our community in Mayaro, the parents just don't know how to help them with their homework. So they had an established homework center that was running. They tell these people, all right, let's shut down. We're going to give you a brand new center and what? You know what's the real hurtful part? Community centers fall under the Ministry of Social Development. Yeah? Ministry of Social Development. Or Community Development. Community Development. Who is the Minister of Community Development? Anybody? Mr. Winston Gypsy Peters. I need to verify that. Mr. Winston Gypsy Peters. This man is responsible for community centers. You listen to me, right? I want to listen to me real good. Winston Gypsy Peters grew up in Ottawa. You listen to me, right? This is an area where you would at least want to make sure that the people have the best. They can say what they want about Jack Warner and all the negative things they say about him, but he's taking care of his people. I mean, I always lament that there's no right way to do the wrong thing, but let's face the fact, if he's giving to his community, giving back to his constituents, that's what they probably see and that is why they're happy about it. But Gypsy is doing nothing for this community. Absolutely nothing. And people need to open their eyes and stop thinking about boyfriend and this and partisan and whatever and look at what's good for your community. They went in Lavantil the other day and they did a big walk around in Lavantil. And well, don't get me wrong, I'm glad that the people of Lavantil are getting their community center, the construction restarted because that's what's happening. But what about Ottawa? What about that tiny fishing village of Ottawa where you grow up, where the majority of your family, you're proud to go all over the place and say, but I grew up in Mayaro. You're not giving Mayaro the love. And people might be angry at me, but at the end of the day, my program is not about pleasing people. It's not about making other people happy. Only if the other people that are being happy are the members of the community that really deserve it. Right? So I really hope that the people that are looking at this, that has the power to get the message on to the minister, take a look at the Ottawa Community Center and give the people, give the community something to really be proud of so that they can utilize this. Right? In closing, I would also like to remind you again to say that way on behalf of MCTV, my family, condolences goes out to the Hagley family. They suffered a loss and a death in the family. Mrs. Hagley, she passed away. A mother to some really good friends of ours, Kendall, Jabba, the entire crew, Randy. I know you guys are going through a tough time now, but with time and with understanding and with the love of your community and your family, all things are possible, right? So it's your boy Kyron for the good, the bad, and ugly. Thanking you very much for allowing me into your home. Thanking you very much for giving me the opportunity to share my opinions and my comments with you. See you guys in another episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.